One of the definitions of community is a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common interests or goals. In this week's adventure, we meet up with fellow hiker owners Dwayne and Teresa, Greg and Sarah, Jeff and Diane, Bill and Paula, as we explore the shores of Lake Michigan. We come together for a sense of community, celebrate some birthdays, enjoy some peace and quiet in the beautiful shores of Lake Michigan. We picked this place for a birthday celebration
For your birthday.
For my birthday and Greg's birthday.
Yes, Greg's birthday ended up being just 3 days earlier. So we celebrated 2 birthdays this weekend.
Temperatures have been great.
Yeah, they really have. Perfect spring camping.
60s, very few bugs, and then...
raccoons. No, that's a whole nother story.
A lot of raccoons.
But okay, he cannot go a trip without doing some filming. We've said this multiple times. Let's just go away, enjoy the weekend, and not film anything.
Yeah, I can't do that.
He's always doing something.
Then we'll take a walk around to the other trailers, see if there's anything new and exciting they've added. That's the fun thing with getting together with these campouts, is looking at everybody's mods. Things people have changed, simplified. Maybe they've realized they don't use it anymore, so they eliminate it.
It's all the tweaks.
I find that fascinating. I really do. There you go.
I think he already is. Putting on your blush.
This is Tribble.
It's a cat. It's called a dead cat. It is on. You're alive. You know that, right?
Yes, I'm live.
That's not what I meant. Oh, this is going to be an interesting interview. All right, let's get started.
So I have Greg back again for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. I don't know how many times you've been. No.
I don't know.
A lot. He's the other birthday boy for this weekend. You do your little dance. So, what is new on your trailer?
Walls. Walls. Yep, they're new. Yeah, the walls. Oh, and we got rid of the battery. It no longer has...
Why would you get rid of a battery?
Because it's big and it's heavy and it's one more thing that
Are
requires
you carrying it around
attention.
on a regular basis? Like,
no, it's in the front. It's tongue weight. I pick the trailer up and move it sometimes, and that increases the tongue weight, and it increases the overall weight, and it's a thing that can dive, and it simplified everything because then I moved everything into the galley with just a 12-volt plug into a jackery that basically runs the fan, and that's it. Everything else is independently powered. We got a little hardcore light and some little puck lights inside, a Luminoodle.
oh yes.
You love the Luminoodle. And everything is, those are independently powered. They're very lightly used. They never really run out of power. I think we charged the hardcore lights once.
I think you have like the most simplistic trailer that we've seen.
Yes.
Is that on purpose?
I try to keep it very simple. If it has moving parts or a wire or, heaven forbid, a microprocessor, I don't want it because then it's going to break. It's going to break when I'm in the radio quiet zone in the middle of nowhere and will have no way to get home or solve the problem that it's supposed to be solving. So.
But don't you solve those problems every day?
Yeah, it's my job. I'm a software engineer, which is why I don't trust anything with a microprocessor.
True.
But it really does make it. I mean, there's all the mods people do are amazing, and I don't want it to break. I don't want anything to get in the way of stuff.
So you said you don't like things that move.
Nope.
Wheels need to move.
Well, the wheels need to move, the doors need to open, but you have to remember that you got to check your screws to make sure all the fasteners, because they'll walk out on you. I've had to Loctite a lot of them, especially on the
And the awning, didn't you have issues
awning,
with that?
Yeah, it came out about a year ago, whatever it was. So yeah, and of course you have to, the bearings require maintenance every 3,000 miles. So that's a
when
thing.
you take long trips out here to visit us,
Yeah, so
that
that's
adds up to those miles.
That's a thing that has to be maintained, and that's a thing that can go bad. So the fewer things that move, the fewer things that have electricity going through them, it just one less thing to worry about when you're on a trip. You can just sit back and read a book or stare at the trees and
stare at the stars.
Stare at the stars and have some more fun and not worry about why isn't the whatever button working. And they have a little, it has like this really positive locking system. They're mostly aimed at like fishermen and stuff.
Is it screwed in or like a section?
Yeah, it's screwed on.
Okay, it's not like a super strong
so
section.
it's like not going anywhere. But then I can just throw the iPad. You know, this is a bit of a longer trip than a usual weekend, so you just snap it on there, and it holds it really solid. Hi. Anyway, so when I took the battery out, you lose a sort of backup car jumper system. So I had to replace or buy a battery booster jump starter pack to keep in the truck. And then I have a fridge, standard fridge with a Jackery to power it. And while we're on the road, I can input here, input in here. And now, as I'm driving, I can keep the battery topped off. I also have a low voltage disconnect in the front connected to the fuse panel that I had to run this back, which means I have protection on the battery, protection in here, as I understand it, and this allegedly has a low voltage disconnect as well. So I am redundant protection for my tow vehicle. And if all redundancies fail, which is a thing that happens, I have the car jump starter pack also.
What thing?
Oh, it is in here, yeah. So the mat lives in
my rug lives in there.
The rug lives in there. We have all
it
my
not live in
leveling
there before?
blocks.
Fire extinguisher. Yes.
We have a fire extinguisher. If you don't have a fire extinguisher, what are you doing with your life?
Yes.
Be sure to check the date if it has one on it and replace it. We have all my little fiddly bits. That's my bunker stick for my Woodlands wedgie. That's for bashing the hitch when it misbehaves.
Did you get some new fire starting stuff this year?
I did.
Oh, he's got the mini solo stove. Look at that.
Yeah. I also have the backpacking
Oh,
too.
Fun.
It is fun. It burns very efficiently, so you got to have a whole lot of sticks to make it useful.
Just set it on the picnic table.
We
or
used
what
it
do you do?
for the first time.
We've
when,
only used it once, and we just
stopped
kind of sat it
for the
on
night.
the ground
was a
around.
snake
We
in
just
my
sat
basement.
around with it, and 2 is 1, 1 is none, which is nice. I used it on some backpacking on a backpacking trip, and it was a lot of fun to play with. You really got to feed it sticks a lot, though. You really got to feed it sticks. Whatever sticks you think are enough, get at least double that at a minimum, because it just eats through fire.
All right, well, thanks. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again in the future.
Probably.
You've got a new way of cooking,
Yeah,
but this looks like this could use a lot more power than a normal trailer would handle.
yeah, but I have the benefit of having too much power.
That is very true. Reference his previous video.
So this is the first time we've used it camping. Actually, last night we heated up some barbecue, and it was actually very nice in the sense where gas stoves, you're trying to fiddle with that smallest temperature without having it flame out, etc.
Yep.
Here we can specify the temperature. So when I got it up to temperature, or before it started scalding, I just dialed it back to about 170 degrees, sort of what we're doing right now.
So how many watts does something like that draw?
This will draw up to a maximum of 1,300 watts, but you
Okay.
can step it down to 900 or 600.
Okay,
So smaller systems, if your inverter puts out 600 watts, you're good to go.
should be good to go.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are you warming up or doing tonight?
We're doing, Diane, chicken something.
Chicken, onion,
Oop, there we go.
Ooh, that looks
Oh,
good.
it feels like it's hot already. So
Where are your pot holders?
right here.
Yeah, right.
So the benefits of the induction cooktop are no open flames, right? And if you heard it turn off once I took the pot off.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So, so I won't say no risk, but very low risk of starting a fire. Maybe fire authorities can expound upon that. All right. So, but I guess to really get a full understanding of how to use it at home.
Yeah,
Right.
just play around with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So.
So was that chicken pre-cooked or?
This was.
Yeah, okay.
So we're just basically heating up the meat.
Referencing the real cook here.
So, yeah.
So would you actually cook something on here, or you're using that mostly for
Oh yeah,
warming things up?
I would, absolutely.
Okay.
But gas is, I think, more efficient
Yeah.
in that sense. But for heating stuff up, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Or in a sense where we don't want to set up the side table, say if it's packed away,
Yep.
and we're doing some stealth camping or roadside or
Just a quick stop.
parking lot, right? Heat
Yeah.
something up if you needed to heat it up.
Very
in the meal.
nice.
Or boil water for that matter. Just set it out on this.
You got some extra shelving that you've added since last year.
Yeah, so last year was pretty much chaos with Starbucks boxes down here, right? So this was made first. Let me pull out things here. So this was purposely built just to store our cast iron hardware. So we get the cast iron lid, which goes on top of the
Nice.
cast iron kettle, on top of our wooden trivet. So,
You don't want a fire starting in yours. You've got a lot of wood in your trailer.
well, yeah. So, and then we have our round griddle.
Nice.
So, I haven't decided yet whether or not we're overkill on what we're carrying, obviously with the weight and such. And this is the first time I've thrown this in here because it did fit. So,
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have a use case for this yet. So and it goes.
All the trial and error to figure out what stays and
It's
what goes.
The journey, right?
I don't know if you ever completely finish the journey.
Well, you know what? That's why you enjoy the journey.
That's right.
So anyway, but the design here was to be able to wash it or rinse it while it was still hot and throw it and put it away, and not have to worry about it sitting on top of anything that might melt or damage or leave a
Very true.
fingerprint.
Yep.
Right, and then put handles in the side, and I did a cutout on the back side to accommodate electronics in the back, which aren't there anymore, or in a smaller footprint. Since the last time, I have a smaller AC to DC charger. And this one's probably a little bit more appropriate. It only puts out 30 amps, but it's Bluetooth, and so I can monitor its performance, and it works better with the batteries. Heavy duty power cord, it's only 3 feet long. So I have just a permanent accessory up here. So
So this is a diesel heater?
it is a diesel heater, it's 12 volt control, has a little computer on the front, and they make them for trailer trucks, small van campers, etc.
Okay.
The exhaust comes out the back. In fact, the intake air comes up the bottom as well, but this is just ported out there so I don't have to mess with it.
Okay. And then you must have made this panel to put over your
Yeah,
window there.
that plugs the window.
So how warm do you keep your trailer at nighttime?
Okay. We've had 70-degree nights in the trailer.
I don't
This
keep
whole
my
trip.
house that warm at nighttime.
$2, it costs us $2 a night for
It's
heat.
not bad.
So,
Not
and that's
bad.
on the low setting. It adds about 15 degrees above ambient temperature
Okay.
right now on the low setting. On the high set, and that over at the low setting runs for over 27 hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
So how much fuel does something like this take?
that is a 5-liter tank.
5 liter. Okay.
High setting will last over 12 hours. It'll give you up to 40 degrees.
Wow. So do you have a thermostat that you control it with in the inside?
I have a remote control.
Remote control. Nice.
And it took me all winter to link them up because the directions weren't in English, so I just might expect. But there's a YouTuber. This channel is Storm Norm Leduc, Canadian, I think, out of New Brunswick. I might have the location wrong. He's done a lot of experimentation with this, and he's helped me a lot getting this thing going. So highly recommended.
So do you have a box that you transport this in?
Yeah, so I can dismantle a little bit here.
Oh.
So what happens is, in the transport mode, this goes like this.
Okay, yep.
And the base sets in the air. Yeah.
Handy.
But it needs to be elevated so that the exhaust can plug in.
Comes out the bottom. Right?
Yep. So hence the fancy side hole.
Right.
So when you get something like this, they come in all shapes and forms and various configurations. I had to make my own electrical plug. It just had bare wire coming out the back.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, you have to source the additional wire, the quick disconnect plugs, and the 12-volt plug on the other side.
So how much does something like this run?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe a couple $100. And that price is highly variable based on the time of day you catch it on Amazon.
Yep.
So, so we did this for last fall. I used it in Shenandoah. And actually I used it in Heart's Content too. And, it was nice. It took the edge off.
Yes. That way it extends your camping season a little bit more.
It does, on both edges, yes. So
Yep.
I'm glad I brought it for this trip too.
It's been a little chilly at nighttime. Yep.
So plug this thing back in. Gotta find it. There we go. And that's all there is to it. There are some technicalities that you really have to follow in order to keep these things working properly.
Okay.
For example, after you use it for the evening or whatever, you need to run it on high for 20, 30 minutes to burn the carbon out. Otherwise, over time, you start to get difficulties in the chamber.
Yep.
That's something to forget. In fact, one of our other campers reminded me of that, so I referred to my manual. So, oh yeah, there it is. I better run it on high for 20 minutes before I turn it off. But yeah, it's been a blessing. I decided not to put it on top of a fender. I saw another camper. It was a different system. He had this tire-mounted table.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
You've seen it, and he had it set on that. So, well, that's cool too.
Yeah.
But
this way it's all compact and you can put
you
it
know
away
what? That
and transport it together.
Exactly. And during the summer when I'm camping, I just leave it at home. It's all packed up. Versus finding a place to store all this stuff. This hose I'm going to probably cut in half so I don't have so much thermal loss going out the side. And on the inside I have clamps that I made, both on the bottom, you know, just little levers and stuff, and just not coming off. I got insulation all the way around. I'm not worried about rain or anything like that coming in.
Where do you store your fuel?
Well, if I'm going on a prolonged camping trip, I'll make sure this is full when we leave.
Yeah.
And I have a 1-gallon gas tank, and I just top that off.
Okay.
So this plug was made in 3 layers. Obviously the outside has the insulation strip all the way around. The inside layers, what is maybe ½ inch. The same thickness, and well, almost. There's a little bit of a different detail on the other side. One side, the window comes around here.
Nice.
And beyond that, I can't tell you why I did 3 layers. It's something I thought about in the past. So, just a clamping system.
Yep. Looks like it mounts really well.
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah, it's secure. Very secure. And getting it back in sometimes it's a trick.
Do you have someone hold it from the outside?
No, I normally do it. I just got to make sure all the parts are pre-aligned. There we go.
Got it.
Well, thanks a lot. We appreciate you showing us your upgrades.
You're welcome.
I'm sure every time we see you, there'll be more.
There's always something, right?
So I got to test out the Darchi Eclipse Cube tent. This is new to us. Replaces our 23.0 shower room, and I would like to say I've got mixed feelings about it. I'll have a full detailed review coming soon. Second thing that I got to test real well with a pretty good rain that we had come through was the 6-person Gazelle gazebo. Absolutely love this thing. It was a lifesaver. Kept us nice and warm playing cards. It was nice and dry. I didn't get any water inside. And so far, very impressed with this as I continue to use it. And I'll keep you guys up to date. The third thing that I got to test on this trip was the Devos Lightranger 1200. This thing's pretty amazing. It is telescopic. It's a light that goes up in the air. It's got 4 sides, can illuminate different colors. Solar panel attachment, so I never had to charge it. It would charge itself up during the day, and I'd have it at night. So I'll have a full review on that after I've reviewed and tested it a little further into the camping season. So it's been several months since we got our EcoFlow River 2. Just wanted to do a little update. We're really liking this unit. It's small, it's compact. I love the handle on the back side of it. It's easy to carry. We found this really cool adapter that we can use for our watches. USB-C. They also make them with USB. And we can just plug that right here in the center. It's made by Anchor. And then we have another cord that we can run up to the top and charge a phone. So very compact kit, works really well. We haven't had any issues with it. The battery seems to last quite a long time. As far as charging and then putting it on the shelf, my one, I wouldn't say con, but one thing that we have noticed with this one is sitting on a shelf, it will deplete faster than some of the other battery banks we've had in the past. But outside of that, I can't find anything that I would say is a major flaw. Each section has its own little power on, power off, so make sure you're not using that section that you turn that off. That way it's not having like a little micro drain. But other than that, it's just very compact, very robust. And for just charging devices, laptops, and everything we're using on this trip, this thing's been a winner. During the weekend, Wendy and I got a chance, just the two of us, to get away. And we headed into the city of Ludington, where they're prepping the beaches, getting them ready for the busy Memorial Day season. Next, we headed to Ludington State Park, so we could go for a short hike at our favorite hiking trail, Lost Lake. This gave me the perfect opportunity for a little tailgater lunch and to play around with my new Gerber flat iron knife. This thing's amazing. It's like a little mini cleaver, perfect for my EDC kit. Getting out around Lost Lake reminds us so much of why we love this great state. Seeing the fish on their beds remind us the summer camping season is here. On our final evening, we embraced the warmth of the campfire, enjoying a delightful potluck dinner and a scrumptious dessert as we celebrated our birthdays with our dear friends. Satisfied by a delicious meal, we ventured towards the shores of Lake Michigan to witness one last glorious sunset. The crackling fire, our laughter echoing through the night, and the tales we shared intertwined with the flickering flames, all melded together, etching memories that will endure a lifetime. In this cherished moment, Wendy and I were reminded of the profound sense of community we are blessed to experience within our small trailer life. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. Make sure you get out and do some camping.
Like we always say,
Get out and do some camping!